For an investor to get a quick sense of level of risk involved in a mutual fund scheme, SEBI suggested a simplified framework known as Option A Riskometer, Option B Risk Factor, Option C Fact Sheet, Option D Investor Risk Profile. And the correct answer is Option A Riskometer. Passive funds are safe as the net asset value of such funds do not go down even when the respective markets fall. State whether this is true or false. And the correct answer is false. Assured return or guaranteed monthly income plans are essentially provided by which type of fund? Option A debt fund, Option B focused fund, Option C hybrid fund, Option D sector fund. And the correct option is Option A debt fund. Fixed maturity plan is which type of fund? Option A closed-ended fund, Option B open-ended fund, Option C index fund, Option D arbitrage fund. And the correct option is Option A closed-ended fund. SEBI does not approve or disapprove offer documents. It gives observations. State whether it is true or false. The correct answer is true. According to the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, the last stage in financial planning is Option A. Analyze and evaluate client financial status. Option B. Establish and define the client-planner relationship. Option C. Monitor the financial planning recommendation. Option D. Develop and present financial planning option. And the correct option for answer is C. Monitor the financial planning recommendation. The funds that combine feature of both open-ended and closed-ended schemes are called Option A. Interval funds, Option B. Dual funds, Option C. Middle funds, Option D. Intermediary funds. The correct answer is Option A. Interval fund. Market capitalization of a company is calculated by multiplying the number of outstanding shares by Option A. Face value of each share, Option B book value of each share, Option C current market value of each share, Option D next asset value. And the correct answer is Option C current market value of each share. Which of the following is generally true for a growth stock? Option A steady capital appreciation and steady dividend yield, Option B high capital appreciation and high dividend yield, Option C high capital appreciation but low dividend yield, Option D steady capital appreciation but low dividend yields. And the correct answer is Option C high capital appreciation but low dividend yields. A better performance than return or index is given by Option A active fund manager, Option B passive fund manager. And the correct answer is Option A active fund manager. Shares of companies with large market capitalization. Option A have greater growth potential. Option B are more liquid. Option C are not traded on exchange. Option D none of the above. And the correct answer is Option B are more liquid. Heavy restrict mutual funds in companies forming part of same group as the AMC. This is Option A not true. Option B applied only to some usual funds, not all. Option C in the interest of investor protection. Option D not favorable to investor at all. And the correct option is Option C in the interest of investor protection. The most important link between mutual funds and investor are Option A fund distributor, Option B SEBI, Option C AMP, Option D comment. And the correct answer is Option A fund distributor. NRIs and overseas corporate bodies are allowed to invest in mutual fund in India. State whether it is true or false. And the correct answer is Option A, it is true. A copy of all changes in the offer document has to be filed with SEBI. State whether it is true or false. The correct answer is it is true. Board of Trustees of a mutual fund. Option A directly manages the portfolio of securities. Option B do not have the right to dismiss AMC. Option C cannot supervise and direct the working of DMC. Option D act as a protector of investor interest. And the correct answer is Option D act as a protector of investor interest. The custodian of a mutual fund, option A, is appointed for safekeeping of securities. Option B, need not be an entity independent of the sponsors. Option C, not required to be registered with SEBI. Option D, does not give or receive delivery of physical securities. And the correct option is option A, is appointed for safekeeping of securities. Next question is, transfer agent of a mutual fund are not responsible for option A, issuing and redeeming unit of the mutual fund, option B, updating investor record, option C, preparing transfer document, option D, investing the fund in securities market. And the correct option is option D, investing the funds in securities market. Next question is, the accounts and all other record of an AMC are filed with option A, AMP, option B, Registrar of Companies, option C, Agent Association, option D, UTI, and the correct option is option B, Registrar of Companies. The entity that SEBI does not regulate is option A, stock exchanges, option B, mutual fund, option C, capital market, option D, non-banking financial companies. And the correct option is option D, non-banking financial companies. Bank-owned mutual funds are supervised by option A, SEBI, option B, RBI, option C, both SEBI and RBI. And the correct option is option C, SEBI and RBI. Mutual funds value their investment. Option A, at purchase price. Option B, on a mark-to-market basis. Option D, at par. Option D, at book value. And the correct option is option B, on a mark-to-market basis. Next question is, the transition phase of an investor wealth cycle is when? Option A, the financial goal have already been met. Option B, the investor has retired. Option C, the financial goal are approaching. Option D, the investor suddenly get a windfall. And the correct answer is option C, financial goal are approaching. Diversification reduces option A, company specific risk, option B, market level risk, option C, both of the above, option D, none of the above. And the correct answer is option A, company specific risk. Next question. What is the maximum total expense ratio chargeable in case of index fund? Option A, 1% of daily net asset, option B, 1.5% of daily net asset, option C, it depend as the TER changes in line with the size of the scheme. Option D, any amount that the AMC may deem appropriate. Then correct answer is option A, 1% of the daily net asset. The unit capital of a mutual fund scheme is derived by multiplying the number of units issued by its option A, face value, option B, book value, option C, market value, option D, net asset value, and the correct option is option A, face value. Funds that invest heavily in equities, usually exceeding dash of their portfolio, are called equity fund. The first option is 55%, second 60%, third option 65%, and fourth option 50%. And the correct option is option C, 65%. What is the minimum percent of net worth of the AMC to be contributed by sponsors? Option A, 40%, option B, 60%, option C, 45%, option D, 65%. And the correct answer is option A, 40%. AMFI is neither a regulatory body nor a self-regulatory organization. State whether it is true or false. So, the answer is true. Equity-linked savings schemes are eligible for deduction under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act up to an amount of dash. First option, rupees 2,50,000. Second option, rupees 2 lakh. Third option rupees 1,50,000. Fourth answer rupees 1 lakh. And the correct answer is C 1,50,000. The income tax allows setting of the short-term capital loss against long-term capital gains. State whether it is true or false. And the correct answer is true. In what form do mutual fund distributors earn revenue? Option A, commission from mutual fund for distribution of scheme. Option B, fees collected from the investor. Option C, commission received from AMFI. Option D, investment advisory fee from mutual fund. And the correct option is option A, commission from mutual fund for distribution of scheme. Which type of analysis track the price and volume data related to trading and security? Option A, quantitative analysis. Option B, fundamental analysis. Option C, technical analysis. Option D, situation analysis. And the correct answer is option C, technical analysis. Next question. Which type of following is a measure of fluctuation in periodic return in an equity mutual fund scheme? Option A, variance. Option B, Sharpe ratio. Option C, modified duration. Option D, Jensen alpha. And the correct option is option A, variance. The biggest advantage of investment in gold is option A, high return. Option B, high appreciation value. Option C, low purchase price. Option D, hedge against inflation. And the correct option is option D, hedge against inflation. Next question. A bond rating indicates its option A, reinvestment risk. Option B, default risk. Option C, inflation risk. Option D, interest rate risk. And the correct answer is option B, default risk. It may not be possible to reinvest interest received at the same rate as principal. This risk is known as option A, reinvestment risk. Option B, default risk. Option C, inflation risk. Option D, interest rate risk. And the correct answer is option A, reinvestment risk. Government securities are issued through RBI. State whether it is true or false. The answer is yes, it is true. The full form of AGNI is option A, AMPHI guidelines and norms of intermediaries. Option B, MP guidelines and norms for investor. Option C, AMP guidelines and nomination for investors. Option D, MP guidelines and nomination for intermediaries. And the correct answer is option A, AMPHI guidelines and norms for intermediaries. Next question. A gilt fund is special type of fund that invests in option A, in very high quality equity only. Option B, in instrument issued by companies with a sound track record. Option C, in short term securities only. Option B, in government securities only. And the correct answer is option D, in government securities only. The NAV of a mutual fund. Option A is always constant. Option B keeps going at a steady rate. Option C fluctuates with market price movement. Option D cannot go down at all. And the correct answer is option C, fluctuate with market price movements. An open-ended mutual fund is one that has option A, an option to invest in any kind of security. Option B, unit available for sale and repurchase at all time. Option C, an upper limit on its NAV. Option D, a fixed fund size. And the correct answer is option B, unit available for sale and repurchase at all time. A financial planner takes responsibility for the financial well-being of his or her client. State whether it is true or false. And the answer is true. According to the risk-return hierarchy, which of the following fund has the lowest risk? Option A, small cap fund. Option B, multi-cap fund. Option C, mid-cap fund. Option D, large cap fund. And the correct answer is option D, large cap fund. Dash are close-ended debt fund. Option A, fixed maturity plan. Option B, overnight fund. Option C, dynamic debt fund. Option D, arbitrage fund. And the correct option is option A, fixed maturity plan. In which of the following option of mutual fund investment the investor receives the dividend in his bank account? Option dividend reinvestment option. Option B, dividend payout option. Option C, growth option. Option D, debt option. And the correct answer is option B, dividend payout option. Next question. Investing in equity and equity oriented scheme, the total expense ratio shall not exceed dash percent of the daily net asset of the scheme. Option A 1%, option B 2.25%, option C 2%, option D 1.50%. And the correct answer is option B 2.25%. Next question. SEBI has banned mutual funds to charge entry load to the investor. State whether it is true or false. And the answer is true. If a scheme is launched in the first 6 months of the financial year, when the first update of the scheme information document is due within how many months of the end of the financial year? Option A 3 months, option B 6 months, option C 12 months, option D 1 month. And the correct answer is option A 3 months. Capital gain or loss from equity mutual fund investment are classified as a short-term gain or loss if sold within how many months? Option A 9 months, option B 6 months, option C 12 months, option D 1 month. And the correct answer is option C 12 months. Next question. Capital gain or loss from debt mutual fund investment are classified as the short-term gain or loss if sold within how many months? Option A 9 months, option B 6 months, option C 12 months, option D 36 months. And the correct answer is option D 36 months. Next question. Exit load. Option A same for all AMC, B same for all scheme, option C varies from investor to investor, option D varies from scheme to scheme. And the correct answer is option D varies from scheme to scheme. Next question. If a second violation is proved by distributor, then AMFI registration is dash. Option A cancelled, option B suspended, option C no action, option D kept on hold. And the answer is option A cancelled. Next question. Which of the following statement is true? Option A investment by minors cannot have nomination. Option B a power of attorney holder cannot make nomination. Option C only individual investor can make nomination. Option D all of the above statements are true. And the correct answer is option D all of the above statements are true. Next question. An investor hold 500 unit of a mutual fund scheme. 1:2 bonus has been declared for all unit holder. How many bonus unit will be allotted to the investor here? Option A 200 unit, option B 100 unit, option C 250 units, option D 1000 unit. And the correct answer is option C 250 units. Next question. Which of the following is an appropriate benchmark for a large cap fund? A. BSE 500, option B BSE Sensex, option C Nifty Midcap 50, option D BSE Bankes. And the answer is BSE Sensex. Next question. Mutual funds are constituted as trusts in India. Who are the beneficiary of the trust? Option A employees, option B distributors, option C unit holders, option D trustees. And the correct answer is option C unit holders. Next question is Registrar and Transfer Agency RTA function must be independent of the asset management company and it cannot be retained in-house. State whether it is true or false. And the answer is it is false. Next question. Investors have the right to specify up to dash nominees for the mutual fund investment folios. Option A 0, option B 1, option C 2, option D 3. And the correct option is option D 3. Next question. The sponsor of a mutual fund may be compared to option A director in the company, option B chief executive of the company, option C promoter of the company, option D equity shareholder in the company. And the correct answer is option C promoter of the company. Next question. Issuing and redeeming unit of a mutual fund is the role of option A custodian, option B the transfer agent, option C the trustees, option D the bankers. And the correct answer is option B the transfer agent. Next question. The fund sponsor should have a sound financial track record for a minimum of option A 7 years, option B 12 months, option C 5 years, option D 3 years. And the correct answer is option D 3 years. The fund sponsor has to contribute option A nothing to the AMC, option B the total net worth of the AMC, option C at least 40% of AMC net worth, option D exactly 50%. And the correct answer is option C at least 40% of the AMC net worth.